So let's just say a bill goes to the governor. Let's just say legalize marijuana. That's the thing. Okay. Does he consult you and he says, hey, this is what they want to do? You take a look at the bill and you say, look, federally cannot.
Right.
And then the governor might say, okay, because federally cannot, I don't support it.
Right.
But let's just say he passes it. What what punishment does the governor have to withstand from anyone if he makes marijuana legal in the state of Hawaii?
Right. So great questions. And I realize I'm saying right to what you're saying. So let me just explain that. I'm going to become a lawyer now and try to explain why I was saying right.
Well, when you, when you say right to me, I think it's like you
saying,
got it.
Yeah, I'm acknowledging.
You understand what
I'm acknowledging what you're saying. Now I'm going to answer your question.
Or you're like, right, you don't. You're wrong.
Right? That's wrong.
Yeah.
No. What I like the example that you had, like on legalizing marijuana. So when that came up, what came up was the idea of opening up. During that time, it was the idea of opening up medical marijuana dispensaries, which
That's
we
right.
now have some of those.
Yeah.
So and that's now the talk is about just legalizing marijuana, but back then, just even being able to open up medical marijuana dispensaries. The answer is to tell the governor, this is what federal law is saying. Okay, so it's not to say that federal law doesn't wouldn't allow a state to do it, but the federal law is saying it's against the law. So if a state passes a law, we're going to have to hash that out, probably in court or with the federal government, because now we're doing something that the federal law is saying is not right. So it's not so much of saying you can't do it. It's just saying this is going to be an obstacle.
The states and the feds separate.
And it's supposed to, right. There's the 10th
be.
Amendment, and the feds are supposed to.
But they can always hold the money, I guess. Yeah.
So exactly. So it's not so much of governor, you can do this or you cannot do this. It's more identifying the obstacles, so that way he knows, or she, if it's a female governor, then they would know that this is going to be an obstacle, and they're just going to have to come up with.
So they just have to.
They're going to have to be ready for that.
How to navigate those waters, yeah.
Or decide I'm not going to do this at all because I don't want to deal with that obstacle. So that's the thing. And I think the other thing that I would say, because then your other question is, well, what happens if you give advice and then the decision maker, whether it's the legislature passing a law or the governor allowing something to become a law, what if they just don't take your advice and do something else? They just say, no, we're going to let it become a law because that's how important it is. Well, then I'm going to defend it. I'm going to fight for it.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the thing about being a lawyer is I always think of the movie Aladdin, where it's like you're the genie, but because you're the one who has people would think, oh, you've got all these powers and authorities, but really you're a servant. Like all you're doing is serving your client, and whatever they ultimately decide to do, you just got to back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.